Hey, everybody.
Hey guys, welcome to JacksTreasures. I'm Brian,
I'm Tracy.
and this is our series of questions and answers that we like to do or cover as resellers on YouTube.
But it's a special episode because I realized we didn't have an intro video up. So the question today is, who is JacksTreasures?
Yeah, that's a really, really good question too.
I know. No, it's important to a lot of people in the reselling world.
Well, first off, that is Jack. Jack
Yes.
is our cat. Okay. A lot of people call me Jack, which is perfectly fine. I don't mind it. I take it as an honor that someone calls me Jack. They do a lot of it because we do a lot of live selling on whatnot. But that is actually Jack. We named our company JacksTreasures because when Tracy and I rescued Jack, Jack had a birth defect, which was a scar over her eye, which made that her eye did not fully open.
Yeah.
She had an eyeball in there, but it not only did it fully open, it was pretty much almost closed. I would say about 90% closed. So
it kind of looked a little bit gross, which is why in the large picture we have an eye patch on it, so nobody has to look at the kind of gross cat eye.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we did lose Jack last year in 2024. She was severely diabetic, and she had been on insulin for about a year at that point.
About a year.
Twice a day, and eventually her body just gave out.
We had her. We found Jack. Tracy actually rescued Jack right before we got married. So we named her Jack because of the one eye. So we were card players. So Tracy named her One Eye Jack. We didn't know if she was a boy or a girl. She is a girl. Jack is a girl. So it's actually Jackie, or Jack. But we named her for that, and then we put the pirate thing on her because of Jack Sparrow from Disney's the Pirates of the Caribbean. And as you can see, she's standing on gold. So.
Yes.
It was just a natural fit. So that's how we came up with the name.
This banner back here we actually had made when we were in an antique mall.
That's right.
This was above our area in the antique
mall. We had a full room in the back of the antique mall, and this was the banner that was over the door to go into JacksTreasures, where we had about 1,600 square feet of selling space in the back, where we sold for about 2 years.
Yeah.
In that space. And that is an actual picture of Jack.
Yes.
Too. That is actually her. Who was just.
She was never actually on a pile of gold like that. That was
no. In Photoshop. I would have loved to have had that.
But he mentioned something earlier about us being card players. That's actually how we met. Almost 20 years ago now. We met through a group of friends that all played cards together. I was actually married to someone else at that time. He had nothing to do with that split up. That was a toxic marriage that we don't like to talk about. But yes, we actually did meet about 20 years ago, and we've been married now 11 years, or we'll be 11 years in March.
Yeah, we're about to celebrate our 11th anniversary in this March. But it is we're actually going to be on the road.
We are. We're
going to be on our road heading to Omaha, Nebraska, to our first Planes to Profit meetup. Not our first meetup, but our first Planes to Profit meetup. Yeah, we met at the poker table. I actually remember the hand that we actually met with because it was a mistake by the dealer.
My ex-husband was involved in the hand.
Yeah, the dealer misread the hands and stuff, where her ex-husband had trips and I had 2 pair, and the dealer gave me the pot. Yeah. And it was supposed to go to the trips. So I called him back and stuff. I told him, I said, I don't want to win like that. So come on in. And from that point on, for about almost 8 years, almost 8 years, we had been playing poker at friends' houses and at local bars and restaurants, free poker. Obviously.
And we're still friends with a lot of the people we met during that. Then we'll meet up with them. We'll play cards. We'll play pool. We'll just hang out. Not my ex-husbands, but a lot of the other people that were in that group, they are some of our very closest friends.
I had been divorced at that time, so I was free. But a brief history of
reselling with us.
Yeah. Well, you go ahead and you go first because yours is longer than mine.
Well, I started reselling in 1997 to 1998. I don't remember the exact date. It was either late 97 or early 98. That was the Beanie Baby craze. and I had a bunch of Beanie Babies because I had worked at the mall, and I would just pick them up because I thought, oh, those are cute, those are cute. And I had some of the, at that time, rare retired ones, and I needed some cash. I wanted some cash, and I found eBay, found that I could put my Beanie Babies on there and get cash for them, and it was awesome at that time. Once the Beanie Babies were gone, I still wanted to sell, so I started figuring out other things. I did video games very, very heavy during those early days. I would hit like Blockbuster Video, other video stores in their previously
If
viewed
you remember
section,
Blockbuster Video, I think there's only
and
one in existence right
I
now.
would buy games that I thought would have a good resale value on eBay, and I would bring them to eBay. And I did a lot of Super Nintendo, PlayStation 1, things like that they were clearing out to make room for the newer games. And from there, it just spiraled. Once I found that to become a little harder, I started doing role playing games. And at that time, my daughter was born. She was born, and I was selling role playing games, and I actually bought on eBay to sell on eBay. And I didn't have to leave the house. I mean, because I had a small child that had some needs early in her life that really didn't let me have a full time job. So I was buying on eBay, breaking things up, putting them up on eBay, and I did that very successfully for about 5 or 6 years till around 2009. And then that kind of dried up. And that's when I found another job. Um, Worked at that job for
Starbucks.
no, Starbucks was before.
Oh, my bad.
This is when I was working as a writer. I started
Oh, I
writing.
got you. Okay.
That was also an at-home job, so I did a little eBaying as well, and just kept doing that. And eventually, him and I got together, and we started yard selling more. And I'll let you take over at that point.
Yeah, for me, I started reselling after I got a divorce, and I was a teacher. My ex-wife was a nurse, so she obviously made a lot more money than I did. As a teacher, I made about, at that time, about 45,000 dollars a year, and she was making close to 80 to $90,000 a year. So when we got a divorce, my income couldn't sustain the house that we had lived in. So we lost the house, and I moved in with some people. But teachers get paid once a month, or at least in Georgia and the systems that I was in, we got paid once a month, and my paycheck never made it throughout the whole month. So I started selling DVDs on eBay, and I had a large collection of John Wayne DVDs, and I needed money to eat. So I started selling on eBay, and I did it just sporadically because I was a full time teacher at that time. And that basically just grew into me selling more and more. And then I started hitting yard sales, and I would find small stuff. And I'll never forget going out, and I was so anal about it that I would buy a dollar DVD, turn around and sell it on eBay for like $1.98. And I was cutting boxes to make sure I got it under the proper weight so I could get the best shipping deal that I could get, and make this pennies on this stuff. So that's how I started selling on eBay. And when me and her got together, uh, I started selling a lot more, and most of that all came from our both appreciation of storage wars,
Yes.
the storage lockers on storage watch locker buyers on television.
We Let me also phrase this. We like movies and stuff. We don't necessarily always watch the same stuff, but we both loved Storage Wars and
Yeah,
watched it like religiously and would talk about it. And
yeah,
we both thought that was the coolest thing ever.
yeah,
And one day we decided, you know what? Let's figure out how to do this.
yeah.
And I found the site where you could buy them online,
Hmm.
and that very day we bought and won 3 storage units.
Three.
3.
And you know
It
what
was
day
the
that
day
was?
before Thanksgiving.
Day before Thanksgiving. So the day before Thanksgiving, here we are driving, getting a U-Haul truck and driving. No, I don't even think we got a U. Yeah, we
Mm-mm.
did. We did.
Did we?
Yeah, we got a U-Haul truck, and we were driving to the facility to go pick up these 3 units, and they called us up and they told us that one of the units, the owner had paid it off, or brought it up to date. So we lost that unit. And the 3 units that we got, one of them was really, really clean, really, really good, really, really full. One of them was just, it was okay. It was a
Yeah.
blah unit. I call it a fill-in unit because it helps fill the truck. And the third unit was just a complete disaster. Clothes all over the floor. They were in bags. It was just horrible.
We
Again, it
shouldn't have
was
bid on
just
it.
filler. It was just a filler unit. We got it for like $10. So I was like, damn, we got these two crappy units. I got this huge truck. I'll have plenty of room in the truck. It was the crappiest unit is the one that got paid. So we ended up getting that really, really good unit. And from that point on, we were hooked. I taught for about another
2 years.
about two or 3 years. I taught for another 2 or 3 years, and then I quit that and I started doing eBay full time.
Let me tell you about the very first good unit we got. It was full of Nike shoes. It was full of Coogie sweaters. It was like one of those grail clothing units that people just want. And we had no idea what we were getting into. I mean, we just bought it on like a whim. Like, oh, that looks cool. You know, the stuff's neat. But we've never had a clothing unit like that since. And I'm not a clothing seller, but I would love to have that unit again.
This from the woman who on what not 3 days or 4 days ago sold $300 worth of clothes in 40 minutes.
Okay. Well, normally we're not clothing sellers, but that is a unit I would love to have again. It was just sheer chance, and it was what hooked us.
Yeah.
Buying a unit like that for like $100
Yeah.
on a whim made us
Yeah.
think that, you know,
We probably have
storage
now
units
purchased.
are gold.
Yeah, we probably have now into the, I don't know, coming up on the 500th unit or something like that. We don't buy as many of them now
Mm-mm.
as we did then. And then we got hooked on it, and then it was like buy,
Yeah.
buy. But every unit that we bought was under $100 because we were still really scared
Yeah.
of taking that risk of buying those storage units because it was just a full scary thing. Now it's like Tracy will say to me, "Oh, by the way, I just bid $1,200 on a unit," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." So it's just one of those things. But that's how we started together, and we still do have separate eBay accounts.
Yes.
That we sell from. Hers is definitely more geared to a higher end buyer, where mine is still geared towards the bread and butter buyers, multi-quantity listings, and stuff like that.
But eBay is really only maybe 10% of our business now.
I'd say about 20%. Yeah.
We do Whatnot for the majority of our sales, and we also do Amazon, Mercari, and a little bit on District Shop Commons. And
shout out to Shop Commons.
I have a Poshmark account that I've sold on. I don't have anything on it right now.
And the Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
That's a must. If you buy storage units, which we're going to do a video on our top tips for buying storage units, you have to have an eBay, or not eBay, a Facebook Market account. It is the easiest and the best way to get rid of stuff. I literally sold stuff at a storage facility before I even got it home, before I even cleaned out the unit. I would sell it on the marketplace and people would come pick it up at the facility, and I never even had to put it in my truck. But
that's like a brief history of our reselling, and it sort of starts to intersect about the time that we started buying storage units that I got on YouTube. That was around 2015. I started watching some of the like OG YouTubers. I would say my favorites were Golden Finger Picker and the Alabama Pickers. Neither Alabama Pickers unfortunately have passed away, and the Golden Finger Picker does not post on YouTube anymore. They were my favorites, but from there I started finding other YouTubers, and I watched YouTube religiously, reselling content, anybody I could find.
I did not.
And at that time I did go ahead and make us a YouTube account of, I don't think I called it JacksTreasures at that time. I think at the time it was just under like Tracy Sweck. But I made it, and all I posted at that time, I would do some videos of items that I was testing to put on eBay. And some of those videos did amazingly well. I still don't even understand why someone wants to watch my bounce and Tigger bounce across my kitchen floor, but it gets like hundreds of views every month. But anyway, I got on YouTube at that time as a quote creator, but we did not actually put out any content until I think it was 2019 or 2020. We started actually making content. And during this time, I'm watching all those YouTube resellers. If you're a YouTube reseller, I probably watched your content, but I'm not good at socializing and like injecting myself in there. I might have made a comment now and then if you asked a question and, I would try to answer it or whatever, but I didn't, I never went to live shows. I never engaged or anything like that. So I was like this little hidden mouse in the reselling community. And then we were making content throughout 2020, especially 2020. We did a lot because, it was the pandemic and we were bored. We didn't get to hang out with our friends. So we released a lot of content that year.
Is that when we released the safe?
I believe that was late 2020. I think it was October 2020.
That's one of our most watched videos, is me trying to open a safe from a storage unit. And I could tell you, before I got to that safe right there, I could open a safe in like 20 seconds.
But this was the special safe, and it had nothing inside. Spoiler alert.
90% of them don't have anything inside.
But so we were on YouTube, and we had no traction. We had like 300 followers or something. And then this past year, April of 2024, on a whim, we went to the Nashville Resellers meetup, and we met resellers, and he decided he likes the reselling community now, and he's Mr. Social.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm more of a social person. I'm a very outgoing person. My family is very big like that. I have a large family. Tracy's was an only child. I have 2 older brothers and an older sister, and then I have another person that's like my half sister. I consider my sister. Shout out to Vicky. I love you, Vicky. But and I was a teacher, so obviously I knew how to perform in front of people because that's what teachers basically are. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. But yeah, so, oh my God. So we ended up meeting a couple of resellers, and from that point on, and we had been on Whatnot for probably about a year and a half.
About a year and a half at that point.
So we were on the there now. So that's where we primarily sell now, is on Whatnot. So, and I'm the primary seller on Whatnot. Tracy does do some shows because I don't like selling plush or Disney
or
clothes or anything that
Stickers.
Tracy does. Yeah, I don't. I try to stay away from all of that stuff because I don't know.
He makes me sell the girly stuff.
And action figures. She did the action figures. I didn't do those. So we tried to divide it up. We were almost 50-50 at one point. Now I probably do about 80 and she does about 20. But it's a lot of fun. We love doing it. We enjoy that selling. So we are both now full-time resellers. She doesn't do any writing content anymore. I don't do any teaching anymore. And as a matter of fact, in about 2 weeks, I get my retirement. I start getting my retirement from teaching because I turned 60. Yeah. So it's just, we love doing this reselling, but that's not the only thing that we enjoy doing.
Outside of reselling, some of our hobbies are obviously our cats. We currently have 6, and they are just adorable and wonderful. We love to travel. We travel anytime we can figure out an excuse to get on the road. We are on the road. We love concerts, like rock concerts.
Yeah, I've introduced, because I'm 15 years older than Tracy, so I introduced her to a lot of the bands of the 70s and the 80s, and she introduced me to a lot of the bands of the 90s and the early 2000s and the 2000s. So we go to a great mix of concerts, and we really, really enjoy all of them with, probably one major exception.
We have seen concerts ranging from Gordon Lightfoot to Pennywise, if that puts it in perspective.
Yeah. Elton John to Coey.
Yes.
Coey Wetzel, which is one of our favorite too, by the way. And we don't go to concerts here.
We'll
we do go to concerts here in Atlanta, but most of the time we like to go and travel.
We'll make a weekend of it.
We've seen concerts in Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, South Carolina, and North Carolina,
and Kentucky.
So we've seen concerts.
The whole Southeast.
Oh yeah, that is the whole entire Southeast region. Just about. We just need to hit Virginia, and we basically have hit the whole Southeast region. So we're going to try to do some more. This is the first time, we were talking about this the other day. This is the first time in probably 4 or 5 years that Tracy and I do not have concert tickets right now purchased?
We're supposed to see one in Vegas, and the concert unfortunately got canceled. But we still went to Vegas. We just didn't see a concert. So.
Yeah. And then we were supposed to see that same band in February of this year, and they canceled and retired their entire show. So if you know who we're talking about,
it's Aerosmith.
It was Aerosmith, yeah. Which I've seen Aerosmith before when I used to go to concerts.
We also mentioned before, we do have our friends we hang out with that we'll play poker, we'll play pool with. We like playing amongst ourselves card games, video games, things like that.
She's super competitive.
I am. Anything I can possibly try to beat him at, I want to try to beat him
at. And she does. Yesterday she won 3 different games that we played.
And then you beat me at the video game.
No, I didn't. I lost.
Oh, you did? Oh, crap. I beat him at 4 things yesterday.
Yeah.
Hashtag Tracy rules.
Oh my God. All right. Where else can they find JacksTreasures, baby?
Well, you're on our YouTube channel right now. It is JacksTreasures on YouTube. You can also find us on Instagram, which is Jack's Treasure Trove. That's probably the best place to find us quickly, because I am on Instagram off and on throughout the day. Drop me a PM. I will be happy to respond. We're on Whatnot, JacksTreasures. We're on TikTok, JacksTreasures.
We're on eBay.
Yes.
I'm JacksTreasures too.
I am TMS Gaming.
Yeah. So that's where you could find us. Also, we very soon, fingers crossed on this one, very soon, you're going to be finding us on a podcast, because Tracy and I want to do a podcast basically on selling on Whatnot.
Yes, on Whatnot and live selling in general.
Live selling in general.
Just because we see a lot of the podcasts geared on reselling are more towards the eBay reseller, and we feel like it's kind of a different environment. The live selling, there's so many people that I know that are huge on Whatnot. I mean, they're like Whatnot celebrities, and they're not over here on YouTube. And I would like to bring them to the YouTube community and let y'all meet these awesome people.
Yeah, and also to try to change a little bit of the mystique of Whatnot. That mystique is like, or the mystique of Whatnot right now is that it's a terrible platform. You lose money on it because you could sell your stuff for more money on eBay. There are a lot of scammers on there, which there are. Okay.
There's unfortunately scammers on eBay and Mercari and Poshmark and all that too.
Right. They're just more in your face.
But we want to show you the positive side of Whatnot that we have found, and that those people that have embraced us.
Yeah.
And we want to share that with the world.
Yeah. And we're going to tell you a few, or at least one fun fact.
There are cats fighting outside of our door right now.
Yeah, we just heard it. We're going to tell you a fun fact about each other, and we don't know what each other is going to say. Who would like to go first?
I want you to go first.
You want me to go first? Okay. Here's a fun fact about Tracy. Of the 2 of us, only one of us has a criminal record.
Oh, that's
this
not
one,
fun.
Right here. Okay, well, this is what the fun part is. Her criminal record is for taking a VHS across state lines. A rental VHS. Cassette. Across state lines. Yes. She got arrested.
I was not arrested.
She got pulled over. They had the lights on, helicopters flying by.
No?
No. Well, I got to make it more fun.
No? When I was 18 years old, my ex-husband and I rented some videos in the state that was about 20 miles away from us. We brought them home. We watched them. We kind of failed to return them. It wasn't that we were stealing them. It wasn't that we were stealing them. We just got lazy. We didn't bring them back. They were late. The company decided to find us, and it was my name on it. I got pulled into the police station, and I got fingerprinted and everything. It got,
yeah, it's gone.
Brushed away. Yeah, it's off my record. It's nothing. I mean,
me, nothing.
Yes.
Okay. Grew up in South Florida, mind you. South Florida, okay. Cocaine capital of the world, drug capital of the world, worst neighborhood you could possibly think of, okay. Never, ever got arrested or handcuffed, okay. Was in the Navy.
I was not arrested or handcuffed. I was
I was fingerprinted, but that was because of my job.
I was
You know,
fingerprinted for that incident and basically told you're a bad, bad girl. You need to return things. When you take them across state lines and you keep them, that's like theft and stuff. And so,
yeah. Fun fact.
all right.
So it was fun.
Fun fact about him.
Uh-huh.
On our very first date, he takes me to Waffle House and he shows me a video of him dressed up like a woman.
Oh, that's not a fun fact. No, 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 no. We don't do that. We don't
He
do
did.
that.
That was
No,
our first
nah.
date. Him taking me to Waffle House and showing me a video of him dressed like a woman. Fun fact.
Okay, we got to put it into context, okay? In the Navy, there are a lot of traditions. And one of the traditions is crossing the line. There are 3 lines that you cross: the equator, the Arctic Circle, and the Antarctic Circle. Okay, I've done one. I've crossed the equator. To cross the equator for the first time, you were known as a polywog. After you cross the equator, you were known as a shellback. Well, in order to become a shellback in the Navy, you have to go through the cleansing ceremony, which means that you have to go in front of King Neptune, okay, and his court. And part of his court has to be a queen, okay? He has to have a queen. So each one of the divisions of the ship nominates somebody to represent that division of the ship to do a pageant in front of the whole crew of the ship and the king, which the king is the captain of the ship. And he will pick, or the crew will pick, the winner to be the queen. And the queen only has to doesn't go through the ceremony. They just become a shellback because they're the queen and they dress like a woman. Okay. So, unbeknownst to me, my division decided that I was going to be the queen without my knowledge, and we were going to fake a vote on who was going to be nominated. So I go down to my division. My division was our division. We were a repair, and we had our little vote, and I win. Come to find out later that it was totally rigged. That I was chosen beforehand. It was totally rigged. All right, Jeremy Vokes, I remember you. Okay, so I end up having to dress up as a woman in on the ship. It was nothing but guys. We didn't go out in public. We weren't like at a port. We weren't going to bars. Not that
But
there's anything wrong with that.
videoed.
It was videoed. I had no idea it was videoed. Not only was it videoed, it was posted on YouTube. Still is posted on YouTube.
And that video and the All-Star special is what he used to woo me.
Well, that's because I tried to woo her other ways, and it was an epic fail. All right. An interesting fact about us.
Oh, gosh.
An interesting fact about us. On a whim in September at my nephew's wedding.
Not at the wedding.
Not at the wedding. Okay. But we were down in Florida, in Jupiter, Florida. On a whim, we decided we were just driving. And I don't remember who said it. Was it you or me?
It was me.
It was Tracy. Tracy says, I want to go to a nude beach. Yes, we have been to a nude beach.
We were fully nude. We saw many nude people.
Oh, yeah. The greeter was a very, very proud man.
Very nice. Older man. Just standing right there in all of God's glory.
Yeah. And he had every right to be proud. I will say that.
I will tell you, if you ever even think that might be an experience you would like, do it. It is like the most freeing feeling in the world.
Yeah, and don't even think people are out there judging you or gawking or anything like that. No, there was some people prancing.
There was.
But that was one of the reviews that we saw when we Googled this beach in Jupiter, Florida. But it is very, very laid back. Most of the people in there are
they're just hanging out with their own friends.
Yeah. You're not talking about Playboy models being out on the beach nude either, by the way.
We were far from the oldest people there.
Oh, yeah.
I may have been the youngest one there. I'm not sure.
Yeah. But they do have restrictions. It is clothing optional.
And there's no like engaging in any sort of behavior.
No. You can't do any of that. None of that right there. You'll get arrested for indecent exposure for doing things like that. But it was a fun experience, and it was kind of neat. But literally, it was on a whim. We were driving, and she just said, "Hey, you want to go to a new beach?" And we went to one the next day.
That's something about us, is that we want to experience all this world has to offer. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if it's legal and it sounds fun, we want to try it. I mean,
Except for zip lining,
I want to try that.
she can try that. Okay. I have a very, very strong fear of heights. I want to go up in a helicopter because I have a very strong fear of that, but I want to defeat that. But ziplining for me at my weight is not something that I particularly am interested in. I'm not really interested in ziplining anyway, but we do want to do things. We travel a lot and we go to
Mhm.
things. But that's us. This is Jack's Treasures. Again, I'm Brian.
And I'm Tracy.
Yeah, and we hope you enjoyed the video. Come back for more. Please leave. Oh, wait, I forgot to even say this at the beginning. Please leave a comment down there below and let us know what you guys think. Tell us some of your interesting stories. Tell us some of the fun facts about you as a
Yes.
reseller or whatever it
Or
may
as a
be,
person.
or as a person. Give us a thumbs up, thumbs down. Either one is fine with me. Subscribe
Just
if you'd like
subscribe.
to.
Even if you hated this, go ahead and subscribe.
Yeah, it's free. It's
Mhm.
free. And if you can, Tracy was going to post a link down below to Stop Soldier Suicide. It is one of the charities that is near and dear to Tracy and I's heart. Me being a veteran, 22 veterans a day commit suicide. We want to lower that number.
Yes.
That's one of our big goals this year. We do donate to that. Tracy will put up a link
Mhm.
below. And as always, have an awesome, awesome day
And pet a cat.
and pet a cat. Thank you.
Bye.